Among all kinds of tyranny, the tyranny practiced for the benefit of its victims is characterized by being the most repressive, so it is probably better to live in a system of emperors of corruption than to live under the rule of the absolute authority of the virtue prosecutors who interfere with what does not concern them. The injustice practiced by the emperors of corruption may subside sometimes, their greed may reach satiation, but those who oppress us for our sake as they claim, will continue to oppress them indefinitely, because they do so with a clear conscience. Creative minds survive any form of bad training. We are imprisoned in the realm of life, just like the seas on his little boat in the endless ocean. You will find that life is still worthwhile, if you smile. Life is like a mirror, you get the best results when you smile for her. The mother is a sacred candle that lights the night of life with the humility of paper and interest. A miser is a person who lives his whole life without tasting the taste of life. Pessimism and the decay of life. There is no life with despair, nor despair with life.
The pessimist does not see life but its shadow.
I admire who thinks life is one thing and freedom is another, and does not want to be convinced that freedom is the first ingredient of life and that there is no life but freedom. Freedom is life, but no freedom without virtue. In a woman's life there are three men: the father is the man she respects, the brother is the man she fears, and the husband is the man who loves and loves her. Life in the eyes of the little girl crying, and in the eyes of the girl taking care of the appearance, and in the eyes of the woman marriage, and in the eyes of the wife a cruel experience. Life is short, but calamities make it long. Live a man, see a wonder. Life is a dream that wakes us from death. Life is tasteless without hope. We do not bathe in the river water twice. Life is a fast train, what a dream has passed, and what they accept. Blessed is he who filled his life with charity because he realized that it is too short to waste it by doing evil. When we don't know what life is, how do we know what death is? Life has no value unless we find something in it to fight for. Life is a torch. Either we burn with fire, we extinguish it, and we live in darkness. Life is useless without prior death. Life is so precious, that if you want it free, be the fathers of the injustice and the brave, and enter and crowd and take a place for you, that protects it on an unpleasant day and appeals. Life is a beautiful novel, you must read it to the end. Never stop at a sad line. The end may be beautiful, and death is better for the boy from his life, if it is proven only by a leader. There is no doubt that life is precious, but your life is more precious than your life. Living asleep and the miniature are awake, and one has a delightful imagination that does not amuse me from the old nights, and draw me from the rest of the nights. For life as a paradise has closed, the key to it is stigmatization and monuments, who strives to attain and who patiently arrives, and receives it after reaching the level of welcome. This life has become miserable, so what can it be? It is only in ignorance and terrified of the world every day that shows us. Once again the sufferings are worse. And because life is left alive, for our number the brave people have gone astray, and if there is no death we must, it is impotent that you die a coward. People are concerned with life and I do not see. The length of life increases without a rut. If you lack ammunition, you do not find ammunition, it is like business. She describes life and is ignorant or heedless of what went on in it and what is expected, and who misrepresenting the facts himself and denotes them, requesting the assignments and covets. If you want to stand up to life, do not take it as a tragedy. We were taught at school when we were young that the empty spike raised its head in the field, and that it was filled with wheat, it reduced it, so it would not be humble except big, and it would not grow big but despicable. We live a double life for ourselves, when we live for others, and as much as we multiply our sense of others, we multiply our sense of our life, and we double this same life in the end. It is despite all that life, and we are required to live it as it is. Why does the sheikh cry over his youth and the young man does not laugh at his youth? Life is not about the number of years, but the number of feelings, because life is nothing other than a person's sense of life. Do not be tempted to rise easily, if the slope is bumpy. Religion is the compass that helps a person to maintain his proper direction in this life, and prevents him from wandering on his face without a goal, which may expose him to falling into the clutches of evil. You will learn many life lessons, if you notice that firefighters do not fight fire with fire. When we live only for ourselves, life seems to us a little short, starting from where we began to realize, and ending with the end of our limited life, but when we live for others, that is, when we live for an idea, life appears long and deep, starts from where humanity began, and extends after our departure from the face of this earth. Life is nothing other than a person's sense of life. Strip any person of the sense of his life that strips him of life itself in its true meaning. The nation whose men know how to die is the worthy nation. To death was doing something to stop the extension of life. But it is a tiny, sensuous force alongside the overwhelming, immersive and immersive life forces. From the power of the living God, life emerges and reverts. I want the student to show interest and a desire to find the answer. You want ready answers, and life is not like that. Rather, the secret of life is to do for a purpose. Life is a trust you are entrusted with. You have no right to a day that you can be restored from protesting because it really is not yours. I adore the elevator, I do not use it out of laziness but rather for meditation. You put your finger on the button without any effort, go up to the A and go down to the bottom. It may break down while you are sitting in it. It is just like life is not free from damage, and sometimes you are at the top and sometimes you are in lower.